ICE operations in the state of Maine have been underway since last week. On Friday, an observer who asked an ICE official why he was taking pictures of a car resulted in this exchange.
What you guys are doing here? Yeah. Look at them. Look at them. The ICE is here, guys. Be careful. Be careful. You're over here.
It's not illegal to record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Why are you taking my information down?
Because we have a nice little database.
Oh, good.
And now you're considered a domestic terrorist. So
We're videotaping you?
Welcome to Maine. That follows an incident earlier in the week when a Cumberland County congressional officer recruit was detained by ICE. According to the sheriff, the recruit, who is an immigrant, had all of the proper federal paperwork to work in Maine through April of 2029.
What's even more disturbing is the comment made by the witness that videotaped this encounter, who said that in the 3 minutes they got out, they pulled a guy from the car, handcuffed him, put him in the car, they all took off, leaving his car with the windows down, the lights on, unsecure, and unoccupied. They left it right on the side of the street. Folks, that's Bush League policing.
Yeah. Joining us now, Democratic Governor of Maine, Janet Mills. She's also now running for U.S. Senate. Governor, it's good to have you on the show. So what else is happening in Maine with ICE, and how is your state handling the ICE operations underway right now? What else have you heard and seen?
Well, I couldn't agree with Sheriff Joyce more. This is Bush League policing, grabbing people out of cars and even leaving the cars running in the middle of the street. That's a threat to public safety, not an insurance of public safety. Look, you know, they're threatening to violate people's civil rights and the public safety every day. And they are not accountable, not answerable. And I think that that's why Kristi Noem, frankly, should go. Kristi Noem needs to go. She has no law enforcement experience, no cred in this community and in law enforcement generally. We passed a law here in Maine that prevents local law enforcement from cooperating with ICE on immigration matters alone. And the police are complying with that legislative directive. And we're in touch with law enforcement at all levels every day, and local officials and private organizations who are helping in their own way and trying to coordinate things as best we can. But we get no answers from the federal government. And that's why I'm demanding a meeting with the President of the United States to let him know exactly why they should withdraw these reckless and untrained ICE personnel from our state and from other states. These are people who, I know good law enforcement. In Maine, we know good law enforcement. Our law enforcement personnel are highly trained, a minimum of 4 months at the academy, for instance, most of them, and they fall into high expectations and high standards from the people of Maine. And they don't wear masks. They don't hide their identity. They don't need to. They shouldn't. No one should have to. No one should be hiding their identity when they're out there patrolling the streets and making arrests and stopping people on the street or going into their homes. And they need to be clear. The Fourth Amendment does apply to them. There is no absolute immunity for law enforcement at any level in the state of Maine or anywhere else in this country.
So how are you going to be able to put those words into action? You famously said to the president himself, "I'll see you in court," to the criticism of some Mainers, but ultimately to the point you're making now. We got to follow the law. Everybody needs to follow the law. You must have the public trust, and it appears, as many are saying, that ICE is losing the public trust, especially when they rush to judgment during these killings, and also time and time again, also in the state of Maine, citizens' rights are being violated. Procedure is not being followed, and ICE is creating a wave of fear across your state and others. Are there any legal options? Are there any ways you can see ICE in court and push back against this onslaught on your citizens?
Nothing's off the table, Mika, and nothing's off the table in terms of court action, in terms of administrative actions, but first and foremost, But Maine will not be intimidated. Maine is going to stand up. We are standing up to this threat, this daily threat to the public safety and to the rights of our people. And first of all, the Congress needs to stand up to this bully. The Congress needs to stand up today and tell this president that Kristi Noem must go and ICE must be withdrawn. They're only creating problems. They're not protecting the public safety. Look, they've detained, arrested people in Maine, 2 corrections officers, not one, in 2 different counties, people who are just doing their job, who had complied with federal and state screenings, and including the Border Patrol screenings. And they arrested a civil engineer who's working here in Maine. They arrested a mother of 4 children in front of her kids. What the heck? What does that prove? These are not people with criminal charges or criminal backgrounds. These are people who are contributing to our society, to our community. Employers are calling me every day saying, I got people who are valued employees and ICE has taken them away. They've disappeared. What the heck does that, what purpose does that serve? You know, they're not the worst of the worst. And the Congress and the United States Senate need to stand up to Trump and stop this abusive, aggressive behavior on the part of people who at least purport to be law enforcement, but who have no respect for human rights and no respect for public safety.
Democratic Governor of Maine and U.S. Senate candidate Janet Mills, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning. We appreciate it.